What's approaching the supreme moment? Reality striking closer than it seems, don't it? Go ahead.
What's good? Hopefully everybody's doing pretty good. Since the Extreme Agility Turles has finally come out on global, I figured it'd be a good occasion to test out a 100% potential version of this guy. Yeah, I mean, pretty much everybody knows at this point, one of the best overall units in the game. I mean, the passive skill alone is ridiculously good and versatile enough to where, you know, you can fall into a variety of team setups. So let's go ahead and test out how this guy is at 100% potential. So I'll go ahead and get started with the stats overview a little bit, and then we'll go ahead and get into the actual damage testing. So he does have the movie bosses category lead for plus 3 key HP attack and defense of 150%, but also for extreme types, plus 3 key HP attack and defense of 50%. So decent enough to where you could potentially include some extreme type units within the setup. Super attack will cause immense damage with a medium chance to stun the enemy. Passive skill, so let's go ahead and cover this one. All allies key plus 3, an attack increase of 40%. Super types, enemies attack decrease of 15%. It also has the ability to activate with the Fruit of the Tree of Might setup once the conditions are met. Link skills, he's got Destroyer of the Universe, that's 25% increase to attack. Sand Warrior Race, 700 increase to attack. Prepared for Battle, plus 2 key. Thirst for Conquest, 15% increase to attack. Brutal Beatdown, 10% increase to attack. Big Bad Bosses, attack and defense increase to 25% when HP is 80% or below. And finally, 15% increase to attack from Fierce Battle. He does fall into 3 categories: low class warrior, movie bosses, and also pure Saiyans. So he can do very well on either movie bosses or pure Saiyans categories. As you saw, the maxed out stats for HP is 16,010, attack is 15,676. Defense is 11,225. So overall, very good stats overall at 100%. So basically, in order to get this guy to transform with the Fruit of the Tree of Might, it's going to require 3 turns, and also when the HP is 80% or below, it'll give you a 25% chance to activate or transform. Once this guy transforms, things get pretty interesting to say the least. So instead of the medium chance to stun the enemy from the super attack, it converts over to high chance. So very good transition there. Passive skill attack and defense increase of 130%. Recovers 15% of HP, and super type enemies defense will decrease by 80% at the start of the turn. So ridiculous passive skill there. Unfortunately, he does lose the 40% increase to all allies as part of the passive, but you're looking at HP recovery of 15%, and also the fact that super type enemies defense will drop by 80%, in addition to his own attack and defense increase of 130%. I mean, it's a hell of a package right there with the passive skill. So yeah, this guy is ridiculously good. I rate him pretty highly, as I'm sure a lot of other people do. And just so you know, and it's pretty obvious at this point, but the Grade 8 Turles is the best linking partner for this guy, just because they do share quite a bit of links together. And I'll cover that here in a second as to which those links are. But there we go with the transformation again. Super type enemies defense will drop by 80%. Unfortunately, in this case, it is an extreme type, so you're not seeing that much of a boost. So that's kind of like the dilemma here is when he transforms, not only do you lose that on that 40% increase to attack for all allies, if you're battling against an extreme type, you're not going to see that 80% decrease toward defense. So in terms of a supporting role, he's not meant to be a supporting type once he transforms. I mean, he's basically meant to, cause havoc and output, crazy amounts of damage. Given, I mean, it's not like ridiculously high or anything compared to other certain units, but either way, this guy can definitely pack a punch, and he definitely does pretty well. Alright, let's see how he does with the Dokkan mode. and fortunately he does have type advantage in this setup. Yeah, about 3.9 million, roughly 4 million without the critical, so definitely a decent number there. So speaking about the link skills that this guy does share with the grade 8 version, a couple of mine that do actually benefit a lot is Thirst for Conquest will add 15% to attack. Big Bad Boss is obviously 25% toward attack and defense when HP is 80% or below. And then also the Destroyer of the Universe is also 25% increase to attack, as well as Fierce Battle for 15%. So you're looking at a lot of link skills that are going to help out in terms of increasing the attack output or damage output. So that's why pretty much it's common knowledge that these two guys link up pretty well together. And you can also link up the transformed version of Turles with the normal non-transformed version, and they link up pretty well too. So you're looking at a pretty crazy rotation when you got the transformed version and then the Great Ape and also the normal version of Turles. I mean, that's like one of the best link setups the units can have. So it's definitely pretty nice to see that. I mean, I love running this guy on the movie boss category setup, and it's a really fun team to run. And it's definitely a very versatile category because, I mean, there are a lot of good units in that category. Now, given it does depend on, if you have the units or not, obviously, but if you happen to have these, units within that category, I mean, it's you can run a wide range of team builds and setups, really. I mean, it seems limited, but at the same time, all these units included can do pretty well. Like, for example, I like to include the Extreme Agility Golden Frieza, the obvious tank because of his defense mechanisms, but he does really well in that one, as well as the tech version, and the cooler unit obviously got massively upgraded, and that's kind of why you see it within this video, is because he's providing a lot in boost toward the rest of the team. I mean, he now has one of the best type specific boost toward attack and defense. Obviously, you can include the LR Meta Cooler Army as well, the physical type Final Form Cooler as well. He does real well on that. Obviously, the Bojack unit can do really nice. All variations of it, the agility, strength, and intelligence version, as well as Beerus is on here as well. I mean, it's definitely includes a lot of units. Like LR Broly's obviously on here too, as well as like the Extreme Z Awakened version and whatnot. So it's definitely a very versatile team, and if you have levels toward the potential skills, I mean, you're looking at one of the best categories in the game right now. So this is pretty much more or less, a showcase of the actual Turles unit. So it's not, the most efficient team builds, but hopefully this gave you an idea what this guy can do.